A lot of excitement building around Payton Thorne.
In a world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the book, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off. And you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie Five.
Yes, sir. We're back. Happy Monday. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast, and I'm your host, Charlie Five, and we are ready to get after it, talk a little bit of Auburn football, talk about excitement building around Payton Thorne. Recent interview from KeAndre Lambert Smith had some really interesting comments, and we're going to dive in. We're going to dive into that and dissect it, like we do. But before we do that, we got to give a shout out to our boy Ford Stokes with retirement results presented by Active Wealth Management. You want to talk about excitement, building excitement for retirement. One way to confidently do that and make sure that you're on the right path is check him out at retirementresults.com/plan. Get you a free portfolio analysis, no cookie cutters, no PowerPoint presentations. We're talking about looking at what you've got going on, making sure that it's going to stretch out and get you to where you need to be in all the different ways that you can get it there. And Ford Stokes is the guy for that. Auburn fan, love him, make a friend. At the same time, check him out, Ford Stokes. Tell him War Eagle, tell him I sent you. Retirement results presented by Active Wealth. All right, so over the weekend or last week, at some point in time, KeAndre Lambert Smith sat down with Taylor Davis and Jason Campbell, another podcast, great podcast, Believe in Everything Auburn. I think they don't do a ton of content, but when they do, it's really good. They typically go about an hour, and they have good interviews. They have good discussions. But KeAndre Lambert Smith jumps on, and they have a really interesting conversation. This dude, you want to talk about bug? This guy, you can tell he's already bugging. He's got the excitement. He is fired up about Auburn, and he doesn't shy away and says a lot of interesting things. I think a lot of times when players get on, they're not very seasoned, and they're probably threatened. If we're being honest, they're probably said, hey, don't say this, don't say that. So they get in there and they're tight, and they don't really know if they can say something, they can't say something. He was loose, and he seems like he's going to be a fun player to watch for Auburn. He's going to be a fun player in general. But one of the more interesting things that he was asked that I thought it really wasn't so much the question as it was the answer. I think Jason asked him. Let me find the question. Basically, they asked him, what excites you the most about Auburn, when you're talking, and they said, exclude the wide receivers. We've talked about the wide receivers. What's the most thing you're looking forward to, whether it be offensive plan, whether it be quarterback play, what's the thing you're most excited about? And he almost didn't even hesitate. He could have said so many different things. He could have said so many things, and almost without hesitation, he said Payton Thorne. In terms of offensive scheme, quarterback play, what gives you the most hope that this passing offense is going to take off this season? They even led with offensive scheme. And he shouted out Payton Thorne. And I think that's and he kind of went on, talked about his leadership, talked about, how he is sort of taking charge, how he handles the end of workouts. I think all of those things are big pros. Really shine the light on the real thought around Payton Thorne and how he's going to mesh with this offense. Again, like, what if he could have said, I really like the way that they're going to feature me in the offense. I think it's something they're going to be able to exploit some one-on-ones, or I really like the cohesion. We talked about how we feel like the trio of Hugh, Derek Nix, and the quarterback coach, we feel like that little trio right there, everybody's sort of on the same page and pulling in the same direction. That in general would lead to more production. You feel like at least, that could have been something that he talked about. I see the chemistry. I see, if the flow of how the playbook's going to work. And I know he hasn't necessarily had a chance to work directly with the coach, but they've had meetings, and you can hear the message and you can see how the playbook opens up. And he didn't go there. He skipped it. He skipped straight over that and went to Payton Thorne. And I think that's big for a lot of reasons. Okay. Because look, there's no hiding the fact that people, the media, honestly, and then the fan base, they're shook a little bit. We're shook a little bit in regards to Payton Thorne, because we don't know 100% last year if it's a chicken or the egg scenario with him. We don't know if it was mostly his issue last year that couldn't get the passing game going, or if it really was the whole, Philip Montgomery, play calling here, play calling there, the not really jiving with what Hugh Freeze wanted. His first year giving up play calling. We don't really 100% know. But the easy thing to do is just say it was Payton Thorne. The easy thing to do is say it's Payton Thorne. And then when you hear things like SEC Mike and you see these charts, you hear him essentially call him Payton Thorne a dollar store quarterback. Or you see these charts that Payton's listed at the very bottom of the SEC quarterback rankings. And look, I'm not saying that those rankings don't have any basis. I mean, if you look at the production from last year, it was not great. It wasn't. It wasn't good. There's not a whole lot of spin there. All you can really talk about is can you get it turned around, or is there a little thing that or a couple of little things that can be fixed to make it better? If you just had a little bit more receiving threats, could that make it better? If Hugh Freeze is calling the plays, can that make it better? Because we've seen Payton have some success in the past, and that's something that KeAndre Lambert Smith said. Hey, he beat me. I know, he beat me in the Big Ten, so I know when I come in, I feel confident about at least he's got the ability to go win big games. But again, you hear, and honestly, I think from the fan base, you question a lot of things about him. You start hearing things like, oh, is he even a good leader? Is he even a good this? Is he a good teammate? There's so many things that will come out of. There's so many storylines that will come out of poor play that people try to explain why things happen the way they happen. But you hear KeAndre Lambert Smith, without prompting, and didn't even say. I mean, he just, his answer was Payton Thorne. It was not, I really like the ability of the quarterback room. It was just Payton Thorne. And I think that's exciting because you want to see your quarterback be the leader, and talking about the way he ends workouts and the way he's leading it, and he's calling him to come work out. Let's go run routes. Let's go throw. Let's get a group together. Let's get Rivaldo. He went on to talk about that. It seems like he's constantly trying to get these guys in and kind of create that chemistry. And he did allude to the chemistry already sort of in that room, and that the room would be a lot of fun. But it seems like, Payton Thorne seems like, at least from it's really, honestly, it's really surprising that he's still got the respect of everybody. It's really surprising that he's still got the command of everybody. And after last year, but that's only from the outside looking in. It seems like the people behind the scenes know the whole story, and they know what kind of ability that Payton has, coupled with all these different additions, that they can be pretty good on offense. So it seems like he's leading, and early on, at least the returns are, he is, the returns are good. It's sort of paying off. He's leading, and guys are buying in. And that's what he taught. KeAndre Lambert Smith went on to talk about the buy-in and how good he feels about the offense. I know everybody's going to say they're going to be the best offense when you're doing interviews like this, but I think the biggest key takeaway was that, hey, I believe in Payton Thorne. I was a leading Big Ten receiver. I was a Big Ten team leading receiver. I left my school where, I was the leading receiver. I was the best one they had. And I left that school to come play for Hugh Freeze and play, catch passes from Payton Thorne. So I think that speaks volumes as far as how he sees Payton Thorne. I think maybe that should give you a little bit of comfort. It gives me a lot more comfort in the situation of going into the season with Payton. I think it just I don't know. That got my bug going a little bit, reading that over the weekend or hearing that, listening to that over the weekend. And I think it's something that we can all hang on to and hopefully they can build off of. Another thing that he said in the interview, this doesn't have anything to do with Payton Thorne. I just think this is awesome. I think this is so, I think this is so cool. So this reminds me, this comment kind of reminds me of the rumor of Casanova McKenzie. I believe it was Casanova McKenzie. If you remember, great name, by the way, way back when, like 2015, 2016. I can't remember exactly when he was recruited by Gus, but he goes to Clemson. I think it was between Auburn and Clemson in the recruiting thing. And it's so funny on like what can like click with a kid and make a big impact. So I think he did an interview and he was like, man, they ain't got a Chick-fil-A on campus. Talking about Clemson. He said, Auburn's got one everywhere you turn around. Chick-fil-A's on campus. That seemed to make an impact on Casanova McKenzie. Well, not totally similar, but it's interesting that little things like this stand out. They talked about first impressions. What were your first impressions of Auburn and the facilities and everything like that? And KeAndre Lambert Smith said, man, they showed me 3 locker rooms. I'm not even trying to bang on my old place that I was at. I'm not even trying to put down where I came from. He said, but I came in, they showed me 3 locker rooms. He's like, you got a locker room to chill out in. You got a practice locker room, and then you got a game locker room. The facilities are incredible. People, whenever that came out about Auburn, redoing their facilities and the however many tens of millions of dollars that this facility was worth, some people felt like I don't feel like people don't really understand the impact that place makes in recruiting in general. That it's just I think some people thought it may have been a frivolous, let's just build something just to build it. But no, man, that place is spectacular. That the football facility is spectacular. I think some people would have rather us souped up Jordan Hare, gone ahead and souped up Jordan Hare or, a couple of other different things. But the football only facility is unreal, and it is breathtaking. I mean, it is something that is incredibly impressive. That lounge, he said, I go with my locker, I look up, I got I got a screen with my picture on it, in a jersey with my number, my name. I got this plush recliner, in the chilling locker room. He said, this ain't even the real locker room. This is just one of the chilling locker room. It really is. It really makes a massive addition. It makes it such an easier sell, especially coming off a 6-7 record. You can still sell these like, look, I know what we were, but this is the kind of program we are, and this is the kind of program we can be. We just got to get the guys, and we got to get after it. And I think I think it's funny to see what resonates with kids. But on the flip side, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that you can see a dividend return from being able to put all this money into this facility. It's pretty incredible, and it's fun to hear stuff like that. He talked about a lot of other things. The thing that jumped out to me the most was the big thing that jumped out to me the most was him just unpromptingly saying the most thing he's excited about in the offense was Payton Thorne. I just think that's something that we can all hang our hat on. He talked about the wide receiver room. It's a bunch of young guys, and then it's KeAndre Lambert Smith. And he sort of, even being the new guy, they're still sort of leaning on him to be the leader. And I think if you remember in his recruitment, he said that I want to go be a part of something where I can lead. I can be a leader. I can help develop the next level of receiver. And that's what he's talking about. We're emphasizing being the best group in the country. I know everybody says that. I know everybody says we're going to be the best. We want to be the best, but they really think they got something here. That the confidence seems to be there. The confidence seems to be building. And you do have a lot of, is unproven for the most part, other than KeAndre Lambert Smith and Rivaldo Fairweather. Your weapons really are unproven, but they're supremely talented. I mean, you're talking some of the top of the cream rising to the top as far as talent goes with Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, and a lot of these other younger guys. And then, you got Robert Lewis as well, who's also proven at a little bit lower level. I think this group has a really good chance to be good, and I think KeAndre Lambert Smith may be able to put them over the top. I think it may be able to give them a lot of different weapons and a lot of different options to be able to make stress out defenses a little bit. But anyway, back to KeAndre Lambert Smith and Payton Thorne. Look, I think that's something that hopefully can get your week started. Hopefully get your week kicked off, get you excited. Screw the narratives, forget what you hear from the media, forget the ranking lists. The team is bought in. The team is buying in to Payton Thorne. And if the team buys into Payton Thorne, they see how the system and Payton Thorne are jiving. They see the leadership. I think you're possibly primed for something fun to watch, especially on the offensive side. You could see one of the bigger turnarounds. Auburn could be I hope that the articles about Auburn after this year are about the biggest offensive turnaround maybe in like recent history, and I think that all the pieces are in place to do that. I think when you got the offensive trio of coaches that are pulling in the same direction, you got Payton Thorne that's coming back for another year, the faith that Hugh has instilled to everyone that he has in Payton. And then you start to see players echo similar things. I think you could see a big offensive turnaround, but hopefully that's something to kind of get you kick-started for the week. It's SEC Media Days kicks off today, and it's all throughout this week. So I'm sure there's going to be some interesting sound bites, some interesting stuff we can possibly talk about. Auburn's not until the end of the week, so we're going to have a whole show breaking down some of the stuff that Hugh Freeze and the players are asked. Always a lot of fun. The kickoff really to the football season. Typically, a lot of people think football season starts when it's SEC Media Day. So let's hang in there. Let's see what's going on. There could be some recruiting news. I think maybe some Big Cat visitors are going to start being the ones that aren't already on the list could start being released here soon, and we'll talk about them obviously when they commit to coming to Big Cat Weekend. So guys, I really appreciate it. If you like this video, like it. If you like this channel, subscribe to it. Get in the comments. Where's your confidence level when it comes to Payton Thorne? Do you just rely on what you saw in the past? That can't change. That's who he is. That's what Auburn's going to be. Or, do you feel sort of the same way when you look at sort of the stars aligning around him and what he could possibly be? Could he put together some seasons similar to what he had at Michigan State? Because I think if he can, Auburn can be pretty good this year, pretty good right away. So, guys, follow me on Twitter, _Charlie_5, and then we'll be back again tomorrow. We're going to get after it every single day this week. I appreciate you listening. This is another episode of the Top Button Podcast, and stay button.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.